Hey everyone, you know that moment when you're trying to speak Korean and you want to say that something became different, not just that it is a certain way? Describing that process, that change, is a huge step towards sounding more natural. So today, we're going to unlock exactly how to do that.
Okay, let's just dive right in with an example. Look at these two sentences. On the left, 날씨가 추워. Super simple, right? It's a statement of fact. The weather is cold. But now look at the one on the right. 날씨가 추워졌어. It adds this whole other layer of meaning. It's not just cold now, it tells us there was a change. It wasn't this cold before, but it got this way. So what's the secret ingredient here? How do you actually create that feeling of getting or becoming something? You know, this is one of those common little puzzles for Korean learners, but it's the absolute key to talking about everything from the weather changing to, say, your Korean skills getting better.
And the key is this fantastic little piece of grammar that I like to call the becoming pattern. Seriously, once we get this down, you'll be able to talk about change with almost any adjective you can think of. The core idea is actually pretty simple. You take your normal adjective and you just attach a or ajida to the stem. And just like that, you've transformed a static description like is cold into a dynamic process, to become cold or to get cold. Think of it as like the engine of change in Korean grammar.
So, how do we actually build this thing and put it into a sentence? Let's break it down step by step. I promise it's way easier than it looks. Let's go back to our main example and take it apart. 날씨가 추워졌어. As you can see, it's really three simple parts. First, you've got the subject, 날씨가, the weather. Second, the adjective base, 추워, from cold. And finally, our change pattern, here in the past tense, 졌어. The logic is literally weather plus cold plus change happened. See? Makes sense, right? Okay, so which ending do you actually use? Well, it all depends on the last vowel in the adjective stem. If it's a bright vowel, think ah or o sounds, you add ajida. For most other vowels, the so-called dark ones, you're going to add ojida. And here's the best part, a super easy shortcut for all those super common hada adjectives. They just always become 해지다. So 편하다, comfortable, becomes 편해지다, easy. And of course, we've got to give a little heads up about the irregulars. Our main example, 춥다, is what's called a B irregular. That little B sound actually changes to a U sound before our pattern gets attached. And that's how 춥다 turns into 추워지다. You'll see this with a few other adjectives like it too. Okay, we've got the rules down, but grammar rules are kind of useless without context, right? So let's get to the fun part and see how this pattern adds that real-world nuance so you can start using it like a native speaker.
Let's look at this one more time because it's just so important. Saying 날씨가 추워 is like taking a snapshot in time. It's cold right now, period. But saying 날씨가 추워졌어, that's like showing a before and after picture. You're actively comparing the cold present to a warmer past. That comparison, that sense of change, is everything. And this brings me to one of the most powerful ways to use this pattern, giving amazing compliments. I mean, saying someone is pretty is nice, of course, but saying 예뻐졌네, you've gotten pretty, that implies you've actually noticed a positive transformation. It's so much more dynamic and honestly a much more heartfelt compliment. And you want to know the best part? Making this polite is incredibly simple. Just like with most verbs, all you got to do is add yo to the end. So 추워졌어 for your friends and 추워졌어요 for your boss or maybe someone older. That's it. Okay, let's just run through some must-know examples to really lock this in your brain. How would you say prices went up? 비싸졌어. What about that your Korean skills got better? 좋아졌어. Or that you recovered from being sick. 건강해졌어. See how incredibly useful this is? All right, theory time is over. It's time to put what you've learned into practice. Let's do a super quick quiz and see if you've really got it. Ready? Okay, first situation. Imagine your room was a total mess, but you cleaned it up. Now it's sparkling clean. How would you say it became clean? The adjective you need is 깨끗하다. I'll give you a second to think. Did you get it? The answer is 깨끗해졌어. Remember, since 깨끗하다 is one of those 하다 adjectives, it just becomes 해지다, and then we pop it in the past tense. Awesome job! All right, next one. It's getting late, the sun has gone down, and the bright sky is now dark. So how do you say it became dark? And the answer is
어두워졌어. This is another one of those be irregulars, just like our friend 춥다, so it conjugates in the exact same way. Excellent.
Okay, last one, and this one is all about the nuance. Your friend was sick last week, but today they look fantastic, really energetic. What's the better thing to say? A. 건강해. You are healthy. Or B. 건강해졌어. You got healthy. Think about what we've been talking about.
The answer is definitely B. 건강해졌어. And why? Because you're not just stating a fact. You're actually acknowledging their recovery. You're saying, hey, I see the positive change in you, which is just a much more thoughtful and powerful thing to say. So really, the main takeaway here is that this grammar pattern isn't just about rules. It's a whole new way of seeing the world in terms of change. So I'll leave you with this question. What in your life has gotten better, or maybe more difficult, or just different? Now you have the tool to say it in Korean.